Hi, friends. It's your buddy Matt, the global ergonomist and ergo coach. Welcome to another Strong Qigong here in the Blue Ridge of Western North Carolina. We had an enjoyable one today. Another of the Ba Duan Jin, the 8 Brocades. This one, drawing bow to shoot arrow. We tried it out in the traditional form, the way it was taught to me. And then from there, we did some variations, because there's a lot of variations in the 8 Brocades. One was aiming up above the horizon. Another one was dropping into a low stance, almost the fighting form, if you will. And then from there, we borrowed from a great practitioner on social media named Vincent Wang. And he does very athletic versions of these Qigong routines. And we borrowed one of his, drawing bow to shoot arrow. Much breathing, much position changing, lots of fun. And then we played with a variation. We did drawing bow to shoot the arrow on one leg. Now, I haven't seen that anywhere. We just thought we'd throw it in because we're always trying to challenge our balance, deepen our breath, improve our alignment, all in one movement, in one form we call Strong Qigong. So I hope you found that enjoyable. I hope you'll play along. Don't forget to do all the things we always ask you, like hitting the like button, we hit the notification bell so that you'll know when we're going to go live, to leave comments so that we can learn about what you want more of, and then also to share, because there's a lot of people nowadays who can benefit from the meditation, the imagination, the concentration, and the visualization that we all enjoy while we get exercise with Strong Qigong. As always, we like to center our minds to get everything where we need to be. So if you're comfortable doing so, begin to take long, slow, deep, silent breaths. Deep and slow, quiet and even. We do this to tip our autonomic nervous system towards what we call rest and digest, the parasympathetic branch. And as we do, if you're comfortable doing so, you might invite your eyes to close. That way, you can focus your mind a little more. As you do so, begin to extend every exhale. So as you get to the bottom of your breath cycle, remember there's reserve capacity in the lower lobes of your lungs. What you're doing is you're tapping into that, using your lower floating ribs like the bellows. Squeeze a little more air out as you get to the bottom of your breath. And what you'll notice is the deeper inhale that follows through the nose. So as we say, one of our catchphrases in Strong Qigong is, the key to taking a deep breath isn't how much we draw in. The key to taking a deep breath is how much we push out. So at the bottom of every breath cycle, all you've got to do is push a little more air out, and you'll notice a deeper, more satisfying inhale. So continue to do so, and as you do so, invite your mind to begin to seek the fleeting moment where your out-breath changes to your in-breath, and your in-breath changes back to your out-breath. Those two fleeting moments at the top and the bottom of the breath cycle, we call sharpening the mind on the stone of the breath. And if you want to use one of our visualizations we used many times, you might imagine as you draw slowly in that you're dragging a beautiful heirloom family samurai katana, a sword, across a stone, and you're paying close attention to its edge where it contacts the stone. And then when you draw in completely, you flip the blade and you push it from you as you push it with the exhale. So again, at the end of the stroke, you flip the blade, you draw it towards you with the inhale, you flip the blade, you push it from you with the exhale, and you use that visualization, especially the flipping of the blade. That's the fleeting moment where out-breath becomes in-breath and in-breath becomes out-breath. So if you're comfortable doing so, use that visualization, sharpening the mind on the stone of the breath. And after a few more breaths like this, as we excite our dopaminergic systems in our brain, the dopamine system, we can begin to allow the eyes to gently, slowly flutter open, just as a butterfly might leave a flower. And our mind is right, our upper dantian, the cauldron of the mind. We can begin our warm-ups down our body from the upper kinetic chain to the bottom. So we begin with what's known lovingly as the yoga neck roll. We take a deep breath in, our head floats like a balloon. As we exhale, we let air out of the pursed lips and balloon, dropping the chin to the chest. And when we inhale again, we inhale and sweep one ear past one shoulder. We exhale across the chest, inhale the other ear past the other shoulder. Continue to exhale slowly across the chest and inhale ear past shoulder with pursed lips. Going from side to side, you're getting your inner ear calibrated with your diaphragm. You're getting your phrenic nerve calibrated with your vagus nerve. You're getting all of these structures moving in concert with one another. And that's really the core of Strong Qigong, is allowing ourselves to move in unison. Interoception and proprioception, body sense and position sense. And on your next exhale, allow your chin to rest at your chest. Inhale your chin back upright as we work into the upper respiratory sinus, the shoulder girdles. We begin to loop the shoulder girdles forward and upward with every inhale. We squeeze them downward and backward with every exhale, and we continue to loop in this manner. So in calibration with your breath, inhale, scooping upward. Exhale, squeeze downward. You're waking an area between your shoulder blades known in the ancient Asian literature as the Dajue point. And this Dajue point is an energy center. This is also a good way to get rid of tension between the shoulder blades. If you ever notice it collecting there, that would be considered blocked chi energy. And breathing through it like this way is a way to wring it out and relax those muscles, actually tensing into it. Beautifully done. In physical therapy, we call that strain counter strain. And on your next exhale, relax your shoulders. Beautifully done. Cross your midline with your hand, and your eye follows your hand behind you. And begin to scoop and toss from side to side. Your eyes follow your hand follows your breath, and your breath follows your mind. Beautifully done. This is known as windmills. Windmills are part of what we call silk reeling. And silk reeling is a key component of Strong Qigong because we want to get into the flow state. We want to encourage and experience the flow state. And movements like this are flowing. As your eyes follow hand, your hands follow breath, and your breath follows mind. Beautifully done. Now just begin to use your elbow and throw an elbow back in both directions, from one side to the other. Big looping elbows. As you work up your limb, your upper limb, begin to roll into each shoulder the same way. Big backward loops. Like so. Beautifully done. Now you're already turning from side to side. You're already shifting weight. We can go right now into the ragdoll. So we simply use this turn of the trunk from side to side. Just like that, you worked from the upper respiratory sinus down into the lower respiratory sinus. And from here, we go into the pellet drum. We simply use this momentum to slap or tap the top of the opposite shoulder and the low back. Once you've got that nice rhythm going, you continue to do so and work down into the top of the chest, up around your collarbone, somewhere safe to give yourself a slap or tap. And after you've done the top of the chest, you can drop to the bottom of the rib cage, those floating ribs we were talking about earlier. You continue to slap and tap using the momentum of your turning trunk. And then you drop to your hips and just slap or tap the hips a few times. And we've got that upper half of the body warmed up. We're ready to go to the lower half. Our hands drift to our hips and we begin to loop. Big circles, hula hoop loops. Make them as big as you feel comfortable. Taking deep, slow, quiet, even breath, long and slow, deep and silent. Whichever direction you chose is fine. Simply loop in the opposite direction. Well done. We always unwind what we've wound. We always balance east and west. And we always balance yin and yang. These are the hula hoops, also known as stirring the bowl. We settle in the middle, spread our feet wide, settle into what's known as horse stance. We're going to be doing more of that later, so get ready. You need to warm up. We'll begin with the Great Bear swings from side to side. We take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we turn our shoulders, dropping down. As we inhale, we turn our shoulders, rise to pause. Then exhale, turn shoulders, drop down. Inhale, rise to pause, and continue from side to side. The Great Bear swings from side to side. Beautifully done. If you can get a little turn in your neck comfortably, you can do that as well. That's more of the traditional form. But protect your neck, make sure you're comfortable with that. If not, don't worry about it. Beautifully done. And now on this next one, relax at the bottom. Inhale your trunk back upright, remain in horse stance, and let's go into shifting weight on a figure eight. So as you rock from one foot to the other, when you go to change directions, you kind of swirl the hip around, kind of round that turn, shifting weight on a figure eight. And as you do so, notice how it allows you to move this full, free range of motion while your trunk remains upright. Those three smooth river rocks we talk about, those three dantian can move freely on one another. Beautifully done. Now invite yourself to settle back into the middle. Bring your feet back into a comfortable square stance, we call it, center stance, tandem stance. Shift weight to one foot. Raise your opposite heel and loop your knee. As you loop your knee, you might notice your ankle and foot follow along obediently. Whichever direction you chose is fine, because you know we're going to do the opposite. Loop in the opposite direction. Unwind what you've wound. Then take weight through that foot, raise the opposite knee and heel, and loop inward. Beautifully done. After a few loops inward, a few outward, or whichever direction you chose, doesn't matter, we're going to unwind what we wound. Well done. Settle into the middle. All that's left are the wrists, hands, and forearms. We gently clasp in front of our heart, the middle dantian. We begin to loop our wrists, just wrist rolls, getting them ready, getting them warmed up, the last part of the body. Whichever direction you chose, unwind what you've wound. Beautifully done. And then when you pause, unclasp the hands, but they're in position to use. So we're beginning to lead with our palms downward and lead with our palms upward, allowing them to float and melt, and we coordinate them in concert with our breath. So as you inhale, your palms rise. As you exhale, your palms fall. If you might notice, my knees are floating and melting in concert with our hands. So if you feel you can do so comfortably, you can do so comfortably. Loop as you inhale up and exhale down, knees and hands floating and melting. And this is where we use our visualization, our imagination, our concentration, and our meditation. This is a classic Qigong meditation known as cleansing the inner body. So if you can do so comfortably with eyes closed, You might invite them to close so you can see the full inner show put on by your own inner light, your upper dantian. So as your hands rise with every inhale, as the palms lead the way, you imagine a glowing mist rising from the core of the earth, through the soles of your feet, through the trillions of cells that make up your inner body. We call this the inner galaxy. At the top of the breath, that glowing mist collects in the upper dantian, the cauldron of the mind, the home of the third eye center. And as you exhale and your hands melt down, you imagine that glowing mist forms a glowing cloud, and that glowing cloud forms a glowing rain, and that glowing rain washes down those trillions of cells, your inner galaxy, through the soles of your feet and back into the earth. So this meditation is you breathing into and out of the earth. With every inhale, the palms rise with a glowing mist. With every exhale, the palms melt with the glowing rain, washing down those 3 smooth river rocks we carefully gathered, balanced, and stacked on life's river's edge, the 3 dantian, washing down them and preparing for all that follows. So if your eyes are closed, enjoy it a moment or two longer, and you can keep them remaining closed as we go into our meditative stance, known lovingly as stand like tree. And this is where we take inventory of our alignment, with long neck and light head, floating upward, our heavy shoulders and our heavy tail melt downward, and between them our spine gently stretches. This is known as the string of pearls in the ancient Asian literature. And our hands hover as if we're tenderly hugging a long-lost loved one. Our feet are parallel in a firm-rooted stance, like a mighty oak, and our 3 dantian that we just washed in our inner vision rest peacefully on one another, as if we carefully gathered, balanced, and stacked 3 smooth river rocks on life's river's edge. And with soft knees and soft belly, soft breath and soft gaze, or best of all, eyes closed, we feel the echoes of the chi we stirred. We see the dance of our warm-ups in our mind's eye. We see that yoga neck roll where we began. We see the shoulder rolls and the pellet drum and the ragdoll. We see stirring the bowl and the great bear swings. We see it all. We feel it in our mind's eye. We enjoy the show as our hands begin the slow journey downward, until our thumbs find their destination crossed right over our belly button and our folded fingers rest just below in the area known lovingly as the lower dantian, the seat of chi energy, the cauldron of the body. Using the power of our visualization, imagination, concentration, meditation, through closed eyes and pursed lips as if blowing through a straw, we blow on the embers of the cauldron of the body, and as we do, we delight in the embers responding with a glowing, growing light. With each deep ensuing inhale, we draw it up and outward. We begin to blow on the embers of the cauldron of the heart, the middle dantian, the seat of emotion and compassion. And as we blow on the embers of both of these energy centers, we feel it course through us, filling our inner galaxy with light, spilling beyond the inner galaxy and bathing the space between us with light, warm, silken chi energy. And may your body be strong, and may your heart be calm. And if your eyes are closed, enjoy it a moment longer as your hands melt to your side, only inviting your eyes to gently, slowly flutter open, just as a butterfly might leave a flower. Welcome back. We step into the center of our little boat. As we inhale, our hands rise till they're about an inch apart above us, and then we slowly exhale down our center line. This is known as centering the Qi. We do one more in the Shaolin manner. We inhale our palms together this time, and we exhale only to the heart center, the middle dantian. We do this in deference since we learn so much from them. As we inhale again, our elbows rise and wrists straighten, and as we exhale, our hands melt down. We're ready. We step back out into that little boat. We unlock our knees, and when we inhale, our hands up again, an inch apart. As we exhale, our knees and hands melt in concert with our breath. So we rise with the breath, and we fall with the breath. This is known lovingly as sinking the Qi. And this gives us a chance to move while we calibrate our alignment, those 3 smooth river rocks that we stack so carefully and balanced so lovingly on life's river's edge. Sinking the Qi. Inhale and rise, exhale and fall. Beautifully done. Now, when your hands drop again, invite them to pause at the bottom, and then inhale them up at arm's length to heart height, and then exhale back down, and continue breathing and moving in this manner. Let your knees and hands float with the inhale and melt with the exhale. This is known as opening the door in informal Tai Chi and Qigong routines. This is the first movement of all that follows. So you would see if you were doing the Yang 24 that there'll be 23 moves right after this one. But again, in Strong Qigong, we are enjoying silk reeling, which means we can do this as long as it feels comfortable. Isn't that beautiful? Today we're going to explore variations of one of the Ba Duan Jin. The Ba Duan Jin are the 8 Brocades. And I highly recommend you go to YouTube, you enter into the search bar, the 8 Brocades, and you learn, enjoy, and follow some of the variations that are out there. There's many variations. We're going to explore a few of them today in one of the moves of the Ba Duan Jin, known as drawing the bow to shoot the arrow. So our first foray into this is the way I was first taught, the way I learned from David Dorian Ross. So when your hands rise again, spread the hands wide. Beautifully done. Now, if you're comfortable doing so, step out a little wider and get into horse stance, just what you can tolerate. The hand on this side drops down, winds up in front of this shoulder in a gentle fist. This long arm holds up a finger or two. This is known as sword hand in Tai Chi and Qigong. You can hold up one finger, you can hold up 2. But before we begin, you extend the arm, and the object is for your sight, soft gaze, to look beyond the hand as if you're looking off onto the horizon. So once you're prepared and you've got your hand holding the bow and arrow, you take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you draw the bow to shoot the arrow and sink down. When you inhale, you draw across your body. Do the same thing to the opposite side. Exhale across. Beautifully done. Inhale and rise. Exhale slowly and fall. Look beyond your sword hands. Look beyond your bow. Cast your eyes out on the horizon. Beautifully done. And this is the traditional form I was first taught. So as always, follow the breath upward and then follow it downward. Beautifully done. Drawing the bow to shoot the arrow. Lovely. Follow the breath upward, follow it downward, cast your gaze out onto the horizon. Well done. Now here's a variation, and you can find this one on social media or YouTube. All you're going to do is begin to shift weight to one foot and aim above the horizon, so it looks like this. You exhale, and then you inhale, sweep across, exhale. Notice you're shifting weight onto one foot and another. Inhale and switch, exhale and draw. Continue. And now you're casting your eyes towards the sky. Beautifully done. I love the feel of this one. When I first found it some years back, I just love the way this one feels because you can shift weight and get your whole body into it. Beautifully done. And then I found another version, and I'm going to share that with you next. And this is closer to the fighting form. I believe this is more close to the Chen style of Tai Chi. And what we'll do in a moment is when we switch sides, we're going to reach up overhead, and then we're going to drop as low as we can as we draw the bow. So prepare yourself. It looks like this. Up and over. And then down as low as you can. Draw across, and then up and over. And draw across. Again, as high as you can reach, as low as you can go. Follow your breath upward, and follow it downward. Inhale and rise, exhale and fall. Beautifully done, the Ba Duan Jin. Now, one of the last ones we're going to look at today is a gentleman I've been following on social media. His name is Vincent Wang, or Wang, however you pronounce properly. And he has a very robust form of Qigong. So we're going to explore the way he does drawing the bow to shoot the arrow. Notice what comes next. When we drop down and draw across, I want you to pause. Now, inhale this extended hand towards the opposite shoulder, and then exhale, extend and draw down. Then as you inhale, opposite hand, opposite shoulder, exhale, draw and push. Notice how I'm doing this. Inhale and exhale. Beautifully done. Inhale, rise, exhale, fall. Inhale, rise, exhale, fall. Well done. So this is a new way of doing it, like I say. There are as many versions as you can find in these moves. Beautifully done. We'll do one more this way, and then I want you to pause. Now, as we extend our hands again from side to side, we're going to do a new variation, a single leg stance. Draw the hand and foot across, and then exhale and push. Then inhale, sweep across, exhale, and that's it, like so. Inhale and rise, exhale as you draw, sweep from one foot to the other. Beautifully done. Just a variation of drawing the bow to shoot the arrow. We always got to get one single leg stance in Strong Qigong. And I'm all over the road today, so I don't know what's up. But anyway, on this next one, return to your center stance, find your alignment, sink your chi. Exhale down, continue, rise with the breath, fall with the breath. When the hands drop again, Pause at the bottom, open the door. Float and melt. Well done. When the hands rise again, with eyes closed if you can tolerate it, spread them wide, and stand like tree. With long neck and light head floating upward, our heavy shoulders and heavy tail melt downward. As our spine, our string of pearls, stretches between them, our hands hover as if we're tenderly hugging a long-lost loved one. Our feet are parallel in a firm-rooted stance like a mighty oak. And our three energy centers rest peacefully on one another, as if we carefully gathered, balanced, and stacked three smooth river rocks on life's river's edge. With long neck and light head, heavy shoulders and heavy tail, soft knees and soft belly, and eyes closed if we can comfortably, we feel the echoes of the chi we stirred. We feel the echoes of the Eight Brocades, especially the Ba Duan Jin, especially drawing the bow to shoot the arrow in our traditional form, in our upward aiming form, in our downward crouching form, in our Vincent Wang form, and in our single leg stance form. We see it, we feel it course through us. We enjoy the show of our upper dantian, our own meditation, concentration, visualization, and imagination as our hands begin the final journey downward. Our thumbs cross over our belly button, our folded fingers return to warm on the cauldron of the body as we resume blowing on the embers, the cauldron of the heart and the cauldron of the body. We delight in the growing, glowing light with every extended exhale through closed eyes and pursed lips. We draw the light upward. We finish up by blowing on the embers of the cauldron of the mind, the upper dantian, the third eye center that gave us this beautiful inward show. We blow on the embers of all three cauldrons, and the light responds and fills our inner galaxy with the brightest light yet. It fills beyond our inner galaxy. It spills into the space between us, goes beyond the space between us, and it fills the world around us. It goes beyond the world around us, and it fills life itself with light, warm, silken, friendly chi energy. May your body be strong. May your heart be calm. May your mind be sharp, and may your spirit be free. Yi Dao, Qi Dao, which means where intention goes, energy flows. Where the mind goes, Qi follows. So choose carefully. If eyes are closed, enjoy it a moment longer as your hands melt to your side, only inviting your eyes to gently, slowly flutter open when you feel ready, just as a butterfly might leave a flower. Welcome back. We step back into the center of our little boat. Very slowly and deliberately inhale our palms up till they're an inch apart. Just as slowly and deliberately exhale down your center line, centering your chi as promised at the beginning. So the hand on this side of the room or screen makes the fist. The hand on this side covers it. Together, we take a deep breath in to straighten. We slowly exhale and bow, and you give yourself a round of applause for the light you've made in today's world.